Hey guys, what's up? Chef Pete here, founder of Pete's Paleo, author of Paleo Eats, and I just want to give everyone a few seconds to check in, make sure that you're all online. Let us know in the comments section where you're from, where you're watching us from. We're here in Atlanta, and today we're going to be showing you how to handle all the crazy, unrecognizable vegetables that you see in the grocery store. So I just want to give everyone a few minutes, or a few seconds rather, and we'll get started. We're going to talk about one recipe today, actually, that's from the Paleo Eats cookbook. You can get that in the comment section below. There's a link to get it. There's a really beautiful black radish and citrus salad that goes with a sable fish that is in the book. I'm going to show you how to actually make the salad today and what to do with black radish. We ready to go? Everyone online? All right, awesome. So the biggest thing about being paleo is, okay, what are the rules? I can only eat vegetables, I can only eat meat, I can only eat this and that, no soy, no, all that stuff. But once you get past the basics of the rules of the diet or of the lifestyle, people tend to still kind of fall into that regimented thing of like, well, I know broccoli and sweet potatoes and I'm good with chicken and skirt steak. And that's a super bummer because one, you're not getting the full breadth of all the delicious vegetables and food that's out there. Two, you're not getting all the vitamins and minerals that you should be getting out of eating paleo. And three, you're not really helping the food system, which I think is a big reason for a lot of people to go paleo, in that you're not eating everything that's at the grocery store because you don't know what to do with it. So winter is a perfect time for me to introduce you all to some of the vegetables that you've seen before. You see it every time at the grocery store and you just go, I have no idea what that is. And you just keep moving to the sweet potatoes and onions and the things that you recognize. So I want to show you that it's really all the same and show you a few quick recipes that you can do with some of those vegetables. Today we're going to work with rutabaga, acorn squash, and black radish. Now rutabaga can look very different. If you get it at a farmer's market, it's going to look like this guy right here. This is kind of a smaller rutabaga. You'll notice the purple tops, a little bit of green highlight, and then it gets yellow towards the bottom. That's a rutabaga. This is also a rutabaga. This big, gnarly, beautiful wax-covered thing that you see at the end of the grocery aisle is a rutabaga. Now, in a perfect world, this would be the rutabaga that everybody cooks with. But I understand that for a lot of you out there, this is the only rutabaga you're ever going to see at your grocery store. And it's totally manageable. It's an easy thing to cook, and I wanted to show you how to do it today. So let's start with the big wax-covered guy. Now, you don't want to try to use your peeler or anything like that to clean this up. It's just too big, and it's just not worth the time. So, like always, we're going to give ourselves a couple flat surfaces. So I take the top and the bottom off. And now you can see the inside. It's beautiful, yellow, kind of looks like a root vegetable, like a sweet potato or something like that. You just go around at an angle. You're losing a little bit of the rutabaga doing it this way, but it's way faster and way safer than trying to do it with a peeler. This rutabaga will make enough for 4 people. So you can see, almost have a little spaceship looking thing now, and you're ready to cook. It's got a beautiful, almost like an onion, kind of potato cabbage smell. The rutabaga is my favorite root vegetable. It tastes better than all root vegetables put together, frankly. Once you cook it, it goes from this light yellow to this beautiful dark orange color. Now you gotta get the wax off your cutting board. And again, now we're just dealing with a regular root vegetable. So what do? We give ourselves a flat surface. Break it in half. I'm doing about, 1/2-inch slices here. See how quickly we've taken that big unruly thing that was at the end of the aisle that you never even touched to something that's really flavorful, delicious, nutritious, and frankly, it's less expensive than most of the other vegetables because people don't buy it. Show you that one more time. You got the slices. Go down. Same thickness as the cross section that you made previously. Boom. Look at how much vegetables you got out of that. Again, these are really inexpensive, and once you know how to work with them, they're really easy. Just go ahead and put it on the roasting pan. Toss it with a little olive oil and salt. Put it in the oven at 350 for 35 to 45 minutes. It'll get a much darker orange color, like an orangish color, and it'll be nice and golden brown. You know it's ready. These things cook up just like potatoes. You can make mashed rutabaga. It's much delicious. I think it's much better than potatoes. It's sweeter. It's got more flavor. Again, don't be afraid to cook with rutabagas. Next one, acorn squash. This is something I know everyone has seen. Even if it was just in a painting for a fall still life, you've seen acorn squash. These things are much easier to cook with than what you think, mostly because you do not need to peel them. This peel does not need to come off. It's very edible, and it's, again, like most peeled in food is going to have a ton of nutrition and flavor in it. So we've got a gnarly root vegetable. We gave ourselves a flat surface to work with on both sides. Okay, now we got a nice stable base. It's not going anywhere. Split it. And I'm just going to show you how to do 1/2 so we don't spend all day doing this. But you got your seeds. Scoop them out. Perfect right there. There's a couple different ways that you can take this apart from here. I'm going to show you what I think is the easiest. A lot of times in restaurants we'll go down the ribs because we will keep the shape of the squash and it looks pretty and yada yada. But for at home, it's really much easier to just go horizontally along the squash. And then you end up with these nice little rings there. Now you can cook this whole too. You can just leave it whole like that. But again, I like to kind of break it up a little bit smaller so that it cooks a little easier, a little more consistently. So go and just take a couple of the rings at a time. Rotate it as you go around. Boom. So again, in just a few seconds, we took something that you've never even wanted to really take a look at and made it into beautiful acorn squash chopped up. Put it on the same pan as the rutabaga just because it's going to be cooked the exact same way. You're going to take a little bit of olive oil, some salt and pepper, 350 for 30 to 40 minutes, and you're good to go. So there you go. We've just, in a matter of minutes, broken down, a couple vegetables that, you've spent your whole life looking at and never wanted to cook. Let me toss this real quick. Last but not least, the black radish. Now, when we went to buy this at the store, Sarah picked it up for me. The cashier tried to ring it up as a beet. And I think that's a real sign of a true paleo person, is if you're not confusing the cashier with the vegetables that you're buying, you're not really paleo, bro. You're kind of just, sweet potatoes and broccoli your way through life, which is a bummer. And you're really missing out on all the good stuff. So like I said, this recipe that I'm going to show you right now with the black radish is actually available in the Paleo Eats book, Real Food, Real Simple. We do it with a poached sablefish, and it's divine. The winter is the perfect time to try all of these things because you've got a lot of time to kill indoors, and it's also when it's all available. I washed the outside of the black radish. I'm not going to peel it. I'm not going to do anything to it other than that. Take the top and bottom off. See how beautiful that is on the outside? So you're gonna have this really nice contrast between the white and the black, and it's a really pretty dish to make. Cut it in half. I want really thin slices on this just because it looks really pretty and it's easier. We're gonna serve this raw almost. So as thin as you can do it. The sharper your knife, the easier it is to do it thin. Set aside. Again, normally you would do the whole thing, but I don't expect you guys to spend all day watching me, so I'm just trying to show you the recipe. Stack it up like that. And this radish is really, if you've ever had like a breakfast radish or a Davignon radish, Easter radish, it's almost essentially the same flavor. Just again, you're using different colors, which means you're going to have different nutrients, and you're using more of the items that are available to you in your store. So you see we got some really pretty julienned black radish there. Just throw that into a little pan. We call that a 9-pan. You can use just a little bowl. I've got my citrus here. Winter is when citrus is in season, so it's when it's going to be the best to eat. Now, if you want, you can use the zest from the orange as well, but I like to use just the juice and the Supremes. A lot of times, the zest isn't, if you take too much, too little, you don't really get the flavor, or you get the bitterness of it. So I'm just Supreming the orange, which is you go around, and in between all the little spaces, you just ride your knife along the edge there. Make sure that you are paying attention. I'm going really fast because I've done this 10,000 times. Don't cut yourself doing this. But if you just cut up the orange and leave the slices whole, you're gonna get all the little its and bits, all this stuff in between that gets stuck in your teeth, and it's just not really flavorful or good to have. So I do that. This is not going to waste, mind you. This is not doing it this way. You say, oh, there's so much of the orange left. We're actually gonna use all the juice from this, and frankly, there's not very much that's truly edible in the orange other than that part. So we got orange slices, black radish. Now you take what's left of the orange, squeeze it in. So every time you make a salad, you need fat and acid. There's your acid, the orange juice right there. A little bit of extra virgin olive oil. Salt. Pepper, as my 2-year-old calls it. The rutabaga out of the way here. And I didn't show you, but just going back real quick, the rutabaga, you can, these rutabagas you will peel and just cut as normal from there on out. But I did want to show you how to handle the gnarly big guy that you'll probably come across in the regular grocery store. Mix it up. And we've got black radish and citrus salad. This is really, really good on top of chicken, on top of fish. You can mix it in with some field greens and you've got a perfect salad. And again, this is one of the recipes from the Paleo Eats book, which you can find in the comments section below. You can get it now for just the cost of shipping, I think, which is awesome. There's a link in the comments section. Speaking of the comments section, now that we're done showing you all that stuff, I would love to answer any of the questions that are out there. Assuming that I didn't perfectly explain everything and you have no questions.
Well, Justine says she's never heard of a black radish and wanted to know if they can be found in grocery stores.
Yes. I promise you that if you go to your produce section, even whether it's a Publix or a Kroger or a Ralph's or just a regular grocery store, there's a section that you've largely kind of just walked by and not really seen, and that's where the fennel, the black radish, the different beets, the rutabagas, that's where all that's going to be. So more than likely, the black radish will be there. If you don't find a black radish, you can make this same recipe with any type. Don't forget to check out.
Sorry, we have another question.
Go ahead.
Another question here. Well, first of all, Annie has lost a ton of weight, so congrats to her. And also, let's see here. Aaron loves black radishes, and Melissa loves confusing the checkout people, so that's always fun. If you want to just go over really quick again how long and at what temperature to cook all the root vegetables for, that could be helpful.
Sure, so you're going to have to play with this based on kind of what works in your kitchen, but what I find as a general rule of thumb is that tossed in olive oil, salt, and pepper, all the root vegetables cut to somewhere in between these two sizes. So you can see, like, this is as small as you want to be. This is a 1/2 inch by 1/2 inch by 1/2 inch, otherwise known as medium dice. And then this is closer to 1 inch by 1 inch by 1 inch, which is large dice. You're looking at 350 at 30 to 35 minutes, 350 closer to 45 minutes for this. But you're looking for it to be fork tender and golden brown delicious. All right, y'all. Thank you so much again. I really appreciate you checking us out. Again, you can get all the recipes that we've been talking about today and a bunch of other tips at Paleo Eats, Real Food, Real Simple, our cookbook that we made, which you can get in the comments section below and the link provided. Thank y'all so much. Appreciate it. Have a great day.